Hey, good morning, everyone. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. It's a Tuesday in Cincinnati, freezing outside again. Which brings me to my subject of the show today. When it's cold outside, when it's like 0 degrees, because it happens a lot where I live, 0 degrees or less. So this has been a cold ass winter this year. Cold? Cold's not the word for it, but it's been cold as shit here. And in the past couple of weeks, well, not since last week, it was in the 60s, but before that, December and January, it was in the minuses. I've been to people's houses so talking about how it's cold outside, and then you add the fucking wind chill factor, forget about it. If I have to go somewhere, if I have to get out and go to the grocery store, because that's the only time I get out in the winter, grocery store, and I'm walking across the parking lot and the wind is coming zipping across the parking lot and I'm going, motherfucker, saying that out loud. People are looking at me like, what? I don't mind the cold. I worked in it my whole life, but when you add the wind chill effect, and then it'll go right through your house, because no house is built perfectly. There's cracks all over the place, which brings me to my subject. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me, she said, hey, Gary, come on over. I want you to watch this movie with me. It's a really good movie. I watched it like 6 times, but I want you to watch it with me. I said, oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. And it was winter time. It was like January. And I went over to her house and walked in, and she was bundled up. She had a heavy sweater on, and she looked like she was, well, more bundled up than I was. I had my blue jeans on and just a sweatshirt like this, but my sweatshirts are thin lined, so they're for cold weather, but I'm not bundled up. I'm not bundled up like an Eskimo. And I walk in, and I noticed when I walked in, it wasn't as warm in her house as it was in mine. Here's the difference between her and a couple of my other buddies that keep their houses almost fucking cold, freezing, so cold it makes your tits hard. I'm gonna go back to the movie with her in a minute, but my house, I keep my thermostat at 73 degrees. I don't care if my gas and electric bill is over $400. I don't give a fuck. Why do we have savings? Why do we work 40 hours a week or more? Why do you have money in the bank? Why do you have money in your checking account? For bills, right? Well, you should be prepared for that in the wintertime. I'll be going to hell if I'm going to keep my thermostat below 70 fucking degrees, because I'm so tight I squeak when I walk. I can't afford to. I'd rather freeze my ball sack off, have icicles dripping off my nut sack, and off my mustache, icicles, and where I'm breathing, I can see the breath coming from my mouth. No, fuck that. Oh, but Gary, it's above freezing. The pipes aren't gonna freeze. I hear that from friends. Well, the pipes aren't gonna freeze. Like a buddy of mine, my buddy Chris, he's like, I went to his house one time about 5 years ago, and it was in January, and I could see my breath. He had his thermostat set at 67 degrees. And we were going to watch something on TV, a sports game, football game. I said, dude, turn your thermostat up. He goes, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying the fucking gas company. I ain't doing it. I left after being there 10 minutes. I was there 10 minutes. I said, I'm not doing it. See you, buddy. I'm going home and watch the game from home. Hey, but thanks for the popcorn. So going back to her house to watch this movie, I noticed the temperature was a little bit colder than where my house sits at, because my house is comfortable. We discussed that already. And I sit down on her. She has this beautiful chair and a bigger TV screen than mine, and we're watching this movie, and I start to notice that my nose is cold. I mean cold. I went, fuck, it's like an icicle. And I took my shoes off when I came in because I do that when I walk into people's houses. It's just a habit of mine. My toes started to freeze. The tips of my toes were freezing. And I looked at her, I said, hey, what's your thermostat set at? She goes, oh, it's at 67 degrees. I wanted to be the nice guest, so I sucked it up because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I stayed to the end of the movie and got the fuck up out of there. I put my coat on, went out in my car, turned the car on, and my thermostat on my vehicle goes up to 83 degrees. So I adjusted it to 83 degrees and sat in my car. I was like, trying to warm up. If you're a cheap motherfucker and you are okay with living cheap like that, where you don't mind freezing your nutsack off, or your children, if you have children, are bundled up in their parkas and skull caps and gloves in their house because daddy's too cheap, that's on you. But if you're having guests over, live a little and crank that motherfucker up to 75 degrees. Be the good host. Be the good hostess. Don't assume that every one of your friends thinks like you think, you tight, cheap motherfucker. That you freeze. You're an Eskimo. It's bad enough you gotta go outside in this shit. But you're going to keep your thermostat at 67 degrees? Oh, we're going to give you an award to endure. The award goes to so-and-so this year because they endure the cold inside the house and outside the house. And their gas and electric bill was $140 versus mine was $400. Wow. I'm not going. I talked about this in an episode about comfort. I mean, my flannel sheets and male flannel, everything, and blankets. 67 degrees, if it were 67 degrees in my house, flannel sheets and blankets and all that bullshit wouldn't be enough. Try that. Do an experiment. The next time it's below zero in your area, wherever you live in the United States, somewhere in the Northeast probably, or if you live in Alaska, crank your thermostat down to 67 degrees. And see how you like it. It's like, I'm going to take one step forward here because I don't want this thing to go long. I got to be somewhere at about an hour. Sporting events. If your team is one win, if your football team is 1 win, 10 losses, and it's the dead of winter, and it's an open air stadium, who in their right mind is going to buy a ticket for $50? Spend $20 for a 16-ounce beer and grab a hot dog. By the time you get the hot dog to your seat, the hot dog is cold. You're sitting in the stands watching your team that's 1 win, 10 losses, and you're sitting in the cold, and the wind is whipping, and you're freezing your tits off. Who does that? What fan does that? I mean, what? You know, the word fan is short for fanatic. So what fanatic is going to sit in ice cold temperatures to watch a team that sucks ass? I wouldn't even go to see a team that was undefeated and has a chance to go to the Super Bowl in that kind of temperature. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. How many people out there in the wintertime see people walking around with shorts on? I've seen it, man. People getting out of their cars with shorts on. And no sweater, no coat, just a regular long sleeve shirt. I'm walking into the grocery store with shorts on. I want to walk up and slap them in the face. So what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you mentally retarded? Is there something wrong? Are you missing a few screws up here? Don't you realize that you're going to have you're going to die of hypothermia? It's minus 40. All right, this thing's going to be over. I got to get off of here. I got to go. But that's why I want to talk about that today. Because I turn my thermostat down at night when I'm going to sleep. I turn it down to 70. Because I sleep better when it's just a little bit less than 74. I sleep a little bit better. I woke up this morning and even at 70, I was cold. I'm like, motherfucker. So I get to the thermostat, up to 74. Yes. By the time my coffee's done, the house is warm. Because I got a little condo. Fuck that cold weather. Save your money throughout the summer months. Throw a few extra bucks in the bank. Call it the winter account. That's what I do. I've been doing it for years. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to just shoot from the hip and take money out of the bank and shock my checking account that I got to pay $400 for a bill that's normally $200. Have a little account, put a little aside each month in the summer months. 25 here, 50 bucks there. Have a little account set aside just for the winter months. So when it's cold out, you can spend the extra money and be warm. Don't be such a tight ass. Don't squeak when you walk. All right, that's all I got. You guys have a great Tuesday. Stay warm, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.